Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Not Really a Stupid Questions podcast today. It's going to be a little bit different because today I wanted to take some time to connect with you guys one-on-one with no guest to give a little bit of an update on my life, to ask you a question to get some feedback about episode 200 that's coming up. And yeah, I think maybe just talk a little bit about the podcast, do a little bit of a monologue. If this is boring, I apologize, but yeah, thank you so much for being here. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about is just to give a little bit of an update on my life. So this past week, had the opportunity to go to Tennessee for two main reasons. One, to see some family. My middle sister, she has two little kids. One of them is 4 months old. The other is a year and a half, and I haven't seen the 4 month old yet, my first niece. So got to go and spend some quality time with her. And yeah, that was just a super special time to get to connect with them. Obviously, she is super close with me, and that hasn't always been the case, but it was really good to just get back and connect with her, especially because a year ago, I was living there in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. So going back and getting to see her and all my family and friends, it took a lot of time and energy, to be honest, but it was so rewarding. Just really great to connect with them. So that was one piece of why I went. And the second piece was I had a bike race for the first time that I was going to be doing with some friends in Dahlonega, Georgia. So it's North Georgia. So for those who aren't familiar with Georgia, when you think of Georgia, you don't really think of mountains, but Dahlonega is right in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. It's like right where that mountain range starts and then shoots up through, North Carolina, partially into Tennessee, and um, um, eventually all the way up to West Virginia and Virginia. And if I got some of that wrong, don't hold me to it. But that's the mountain range. So it's really pretty. This race was the first time I was going to be doing a bike race, and it was a 103-mile bike race, technically almost 104, around 13,000 feet of elevation gain, ranging from the elevations of like 1,500 up to, I think we may have peaked out around 4,000. Amazing experience. First time having the opportunity to get to experience what a Peloton is like being in a Peloton. There were 880 starters. When the gun went, I seated myself literally in like the top 10 because mostly, not because I thought I was going to be the fastest, but when you have that many riders and that much elevation change, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for crashes, especially because the roads were still kind of wet from the day before. And that whole past week, I guess they had gotten quite a bit of rain. So yeah, it was amazing. I was with the Peloton and the league group there for probably 35 miles or so. Yeah, just wheel to wheel action, going over hilltops and the sun rising and like blasting right in your face with sunglasses on or off, with the fog settled in. You're speeding down these roads at like 40 miles an hour. And whenever the sun was hitting our eyes with the fog and there was no shade, it's like you couldn't really see where you were going. So it's kind of just like, well, I hope I don't go blow off the side of the road here. But we continued on down in that specific portion, eventually got to the shade, and then realized like, okay, well, we didn't die. We made it. So it was kind of scary. Gave me a lot of really neat experiences just with that dynamic, having that big of a group. You're taking up literally 2 lanes of the road, and then there's a car coming. You're not supposed to do that, but a lot of people were in the second lane for oncoming traffic, and you hear car, and then everyone's, you're squeezing down like 15, 16 wide, just like slammed into this one lane. So that was a crazy kind of the accordion slinky effect will happen if you're in the back side of the Peloton. So it's like, when you're going downhill fast, it just like creates this vacuum for anybody inside. It just sucks you in. And then, when they slow up and start to hit the next hill climb, it like wants to just throw you into their back. So it took a lot of mass communication between everyone. And honestly, I was really impressed. There was a lot of really good riders, and yeah, just really fun. I averaged 19.1 miles an hour, even with stopping 3 or 4 times. I was pretty proud of that. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't taper for this at all, with it being, just a few weeks out from Ironman California. But really great experience. Loved it. One thing I did want to share that was just like super special. So if you have been listening to this podcast for a while, you'll know that even though I haven't like fully announced it to all my friends and family, because they probably don't listen to my podcast, but my wife's pregnant. And so today, actually, when I'm recording this on Thursday, October 2nd, she is 20 weeks. So on Monday, we're going to go and get a ultrasound to see the gender. We decided not to do the blood test. My wife was just really excited about the anticipation for that. So we did that. Super pumped about that. Yeah. So the reason I wanted to share that is to give context for this story, which happened when I was at my sister's house. So I said, my sister has two young ones, and as I was playing with them, she's like, "Hey, I'll be right back." And what I had forgotten is that she said a few weeks ago, "Hey, I'm going to give you a gift, and it's probably going to make you cry." And I was like, "Okay, well, what could it be? I don't really know." But you know, she went to her room to grab this gift. I guess I wasn't even thinking about it, and she came back. And as I'm playing there with her 1.5-year-old and 4-month old, I turn around and she's like, "Hey, they're here. This is for you." And it was a hat. In the hat, I don't have it. Maybe I'll go grab it really quick. I'll be right back. All right, thanks for waiting, although I'm going to cut that out. So here's the hat. It says World's Greatest Dad. And this is particularly special, not because I'm just going to be a dad here soon. Sorry, I'm out of breath from running across the house. But what makes this so special is that this was actually my father's hat. And I haven't seen this hat since probably 2006, like almost 19, 20 years ago. As soon as she gave it to me, it like just hit me because the last time I actually saw this hat, those years ago was actually on his head. I totally forgot about this. And my sister was holding on to this for quite a long time to give to me. And, I've told that story now probably 5 or 6 times because it happened in the last week. And it's obviously super emotional. I cried. She said I would cry, and I definitely cried. And it was just so neat to have that in my mind, like to know that she would hold on to that for so long, but also that my dad wore this. I mean, having kids is going to be a crazy change, and I'm so excited for it. But the fact that my dad wore this, and now I'm going to hopefully get to raise my child all the way through to adulthood, and then have me just see them grow up. I don't know, like all of these things are just hitting me, and it's super profound. It's sad, but it's also a really beautiful and a joyous moment because of that coming. And I was even talking to my wife last night about what it is to lose a loved one. And as I look into my sister's little girl's eyes, like my niece, she's only 4 months old, just seeing her light up when she feels seen really hit me exceptionally hard, knowing that whenever I lost my dad when I was 16, my sisters looked up to me a lot, I think, as their father figure. And that's a deep thing because it's not like I expected. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's good or the best case scenario that my sisters looked up to me as a father figure any more than it was my responsibility to be their father figure. I mean, we're both kids. We were robbed of that childhood experience and growing up with a father for the full entirety of our upbringing. So it's neither here nor there. It's not like I put on a lot of pressure on myself to say like, oh, I should have been this or whatever. Like I definitely made mistakes and I hurt them in a lot of ways. But what I realized was just the power that a father has to look into his daughter's eyes and show love, so that she knows what it feels like, what it should feel like, what it is to be loved by a man. And the same for me. But, it just really hit me as I was looking into the little 4-month-old's eyes and taking it in and being like, wow, she is born with this innate desire to be loved. And I'm obviously not her father, I'm her uncle, but the love that I have for that little kid, I tell you what, like I don't have my own yet, but I can't imagine it being much deeper. And you guys know I'm religious. I do have a personal relationship with God, and it just really blows my mind now, coming from an upbringing where it's so intensely, a lot of it was focused on kind of doing the right thing, a lot of this like works mentality. And the fear was, if I don't do these things, I will not be loved or, whatever. And even though that's not really said outright, that's kind of how it's portrayed through action and example. And knowing that I am Christ's child just completely has shifted the way that I view love, receiving of love and giving of love. Because I know I look at my little niece with, like, I feel like I would do anything for her. And I'm sure I'll feel even more tense for my children. So it just really brought home this perspective, like, of what love really means, and what it does not mean in the context of being of the blood of someone and caring for them so deeply. So that's my monologue for that. I've been learning a ton. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I've actually been clean of pornography now for going on 5 months. And I want that, and I do think that will be forever now. Like I truly want it to be done forever. I went almost 7 years without it post living in the Philippines. If you guys heard my story, came back to the U.S. and was clean for so long, and then slowly fell back into those temptations. And now that I have been clean and sober for this long, I say sober not lightly, because my mind feels so much clearer. And as I'm coming around to this season of remembering my father, because he died October 16, 2008. This is October 2, coming up on whatever that is, like 19 years. I just feel like I have much more clarity of mind to be able to attack the challenges, and to also just be at peace with a lot of the different circumstances that I've had in my life. So, yeah, I know I'm rambling on a little bit. This is a little bit different of an episode, but thanks for listening to that portion of my story. So the next segment I kind of want to move into is the topic of episode 200. Check out the show notes. I'm going to link there a little something for you guys to be able to submit. Maybe even leave a comment if you want. But if you want to submit an idea for what I should do for episode 200, let me know. I've thought of a number of things. I've thought about maybe my best friends interviewing me. I've thought about maybe interviewing some of my best friends about the different phases of my life. So those are all like interpersonal stuff. I don't love focusing on myself, but I realize that as you guys listen, some of you would be like to know a little bit more of my backstory, and I'm happy to share it. I just want it to be useful and add value to you guys. So whatever ideas you have, whether it's related to me interpersonally or not, feel free to submit those there. But yeah, what else? I guess just as a general rule, I can give you a little bit of, or general thumb of note, I can give you an update of what I'm thinking in this next year, like what this podcast is going to be. I want it to continue to grow. Slow and steady. I'm not trying to put any ad dollars behind it in terms of like spending advertising to get it out in front of more people. I want it to grow very organically, like an oak tree. Like I gave my wife a ring that had two oak leaves on each side, and then a teal sapphire in the middle, and an inscription on inside that says, with oak tree love, with this idea. And we even planted an oak tree when we got married. But with this idea that an oak tree starts as this very small thing, but over time, if you nurture it and water it and continue to, build it up, like it will grow into a very large and strong tree. And for any tree that grows, there will be seasons of intense growth, seasons of death, seasons of, just transformation. A tree goes through all these things just through the seasons alone: spring, summer, fall, the harvest, death, rebirth. And I've seen that cycle a couple of times now with the podcast, because it's been, almost 2.5 years or something like that since I've been doing this. And I want to continue continue to see it do that. But I do want to add in new things that stretch me to grow. So right now, I'm actually looking for somebody to help me do with all the different postings. I have so much content that I could be posting, but I just don't have the time. So I've reached the point now where I think the value is there, and I need to just get it out there. So if you know somebody who's looking to maybe help out in a small way to help me do that, that would be really great. I'd love to do more in-person interviews, although that costs mucho dinero. So we'll see if I am able to figure that out in this next year. Still, it's very early in the game. Some of the people who I follow in this industry, who I look up to from a podcasting perspective and interviewing perspective, they've been doing it for like a decade plus. So very early in the game, and I do think I'll be doing this into perpetuity. So what else? Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. My life's going well. My marriage is doing well. Podcast is going well. I'm doing some interim, like fractional COO, CEO type of work for different small businesses, anywhere from 1 to 10, $15 million in revenue. It seems to be the sweet spot that I really like doing. So that's what I do to make money. If you guys are interested at all in hearing about that, feel free to hit me up. If you know anybody who needs that kind of service, let me know as well. I do coach a few athletes, although I'm not sure I'm going to continue to do that into the new year. I do like coaching, but I don't like it at the same time, because I feel like I'm not a perfectionist. I do like things to be done very, very well. And if I'm going to coach someone, I want to be able to put into the time and energy into it that I feel like they deserve, because I also have a very high standard for people who coach me. And I coach myself right now, and that standard is pretty high. Not saying that I know everything, but yeah. So those are kind of the things I'm into right now. I've been playing a lot of music, got a piano. If you followed my Instagram stories, you'll see that. I got like this, I think it was 1831 or 1931, probably definitely 1931 piano that was given to me by one of our local churches, and I took it all apart and undusted it and cleaned it up, and it's absolutely just gorgeous. I love it. Yeah, so you know what? Why don't I just no, I can't actually. I was gonna take my computer, unplug it, and go show it to you, but I don't think I can do that because my mic's all connected. So that's not gonna happen. But yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling now. This is a filler episode because truthfully, I had some stuff scheduled and it fell through and I was gone for a week. So my buffer ran out and I figured, well, this would be a good opportunity to get some feedback about the episode 200 and kind of just give a general update on my life. So might be a little bit unprofessional, but hey, I own the thing, so nobody can tell me that I can't do it. So here I am. This is me, very unashamed and yeah, just keeping it authentic. Thank you guys for listening. Oh, I will say one last thing. If you don't mind, check out the newsletter. I've been doing a newsletter every week for, I think, going on 7 weeks now, and I highlight the past 2 episodes and give 3 takeaways from each episode for just things that I learned. In the beginning, I also give kind of my synopsis for the week, what's been going on in my mind, and then at the very end, like a thought for the day, which is something usually I've been like reading or thinking about that I find interesting, and it may just be comical for you guys. So if you have an opportunity, check it out. I'm going to be releasing some bar bags soon with this company called Nothing Novel. It's just a brand that I created. In fact, do I have one in here? Let me go grab one real quick. We'll pause one more time. All right. So there's 2 bar bags. First one, we did a limited edition with Mark Dubrick. So this is the Nothing Novel logo. This is the Mark the Shark logo. It's got like these really cool double-sided Velcro, so you can hook this onto your bar bag, or your bar, and adjust it. This can go around your head tube. What's kind of cool is it's basically waterproof. I don't say waterproof. You're not going to stick it submerged underwater, but it's definitely water resistant. You unzip it there with the water zipper, and inside, this is kind of the motto. It's just gear, nothing novel. Get it? It's nothing novel. Haha. Yeah, so these are the bar bags. So if you want to support Mark the Shark, that'll be hopefully selling here pretty soon if you guys want to buy his stuff. And then this is just the standalone Nothing Novel bag. So the idea is that it'd be kind of cool to offer something for people who want to support the podcast that's cooler than just socks or whatever. And I have a heart for textiles, so I like making stuff. If you want some details on that, it probably won't be in the show notes. Honestly, you can message me about it, but I need to set up the website, and I've got a lot of other things that I'm trying to do right now. So probably a bit off more than I can chew, but they're really good quality. Literally the highest quality materials that we could find, that I could find with my team, and they help put it together. So it's very durable, and I'll leave it at that. It's also nothing novel, truthfully. It's just a bar bag. But it is cool if you want to support, and I'm a little fond of it. So anyway, those are the big things. Check out the show notes. Check out the newsletter. Thanks for being here. Let me have some feedback for episode 200. Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble on here for 20 minutes or so. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will catch you in the next episode here before too long. Thank you so much. See ya.